Hello, welcome back. Survival Saturday with Johnny Tiger on November 19, 2022. Hey there, finally starting to feel a little bit more human, although I've been coughing a lot today, so if I have to stop and cough during the video, I'm sorry. But other than that, still a little bit of runny nose, a little bit sneezing, but definitely feeling a lot more chipper today than yesterday. Um, so, like I said in the Fitness Friday video, my goal was to sleep as much as I could this weekend to sleep this sickness out of my system, and that seemed to really be doing the trick. So I want to say this again: if you are feeling down, out, sick, whatever, uh, try to look at your sleep pattern first. You know, it's quite possible that all you really need is a lot of sleep, and that will fix you right up. Now, today, I want to go back and revisit one of the foundations. This is so much of a foundation that it's almost a joke. One of the foundations of Krav Maga, which is, yes, you got it, groin strike, groin kick. Uh, okay? If you want to be able to practice groin kick yourself, you can totally learn to hold the pad. Just get a big, thick pad like this, hold it in front of you, just let it drop a little bit and kick. Right? You can practice your groin kick this way. You don't always need someone to hold the pad for you. Of course, this takes a little balance, a little bit of coordination, but it's perfectly doable. Okay? Again, you hold this pad out in front of you. Just while you come down, your leg come up. That's your groin kick right there. Just like that. Now that was actually not what I was going to devote this episode on. That's just a little bonus if you want to practice how to throw out that groin kick. A quick review with groin kick is number one, you need to pair it with something. Okay, a lot of time when people are being taught in women's self-defense class, kids self-defense class, they teach you when someone attacks you, you kick them in the groin. But when you actually get into a conflict, you'll realize that doesn't actually work, or at least a lot of times that fails. And I talked about this before. It's because most men, most people, especially men, have been conditioned to look out for that. It's something that hurts so much, and if you've been roughhousing as a teenager, you have it done to you in the past enough time that you learn to recognize that quickly enough to turn your hip or cross your leg or put your hand there. Okay, it's become a natural survival reflex. So it's really difficult to just kick someone in the groin and expect that to work. It's not that the kick itself is failing, but more that you are expecting to hit your target while your target already know how to defend against that. So you always want to combo your groin kick in something. Okay, you don't want to just throw that out randomly and expect it to work. It doesn't work that way. Number two, where you want to strike, uh, the optimum striking position. I'm adding the word optimum because it doesn't always work out. Sometimes the person is a little bit too close or too far. Sometimes you'll hit them with your toe, sometimes you'll hit them with your knee. But the optimum striking position is your shin. Okay? The hard piece of bone right into the groin. Right into the groin. Okay? That is the optimum striking position. Number three is how hard you do it. Okay? A groin kick is not a not a nice little pew like that. Okay, no. Groin kick, as one of my old sensei explained to me, you want to imagine that you want to push their groin all the way up to the top of their head with your shin. Yeah? You want to imagine that you're driving your shin entirely through and up their body like that. You want to cut them in half with your shin. That's the way you throw a groin kick. So today, I'm going to show you guys 3 different styles of groin kick. These are a little bit more advanced, but they're not super difficult. They're just a little bit more advanced than the kind of groin strike, groin kick that you guys might be used to. Number one of my personal favorite, is a walking groin kick. What is a walking groin kick? A lot of times, like I say, if you just stand here and throw your groin kick out, or some people even telegraph it, some people will bring the leg back and throw it forward like that. You won't hit your target, right? You'll get blocked. But a walking groin kick means I'm walking, walking, walking. Every time I take a step, a groin kick can come out. Okay, this is a very mobile way to strike the groin. And the best way to execute this is to combo this with a two-handed shove. Why a two-handed shove? Right? Let's say I am fighting Bruce, and let's say I sort of expect Bruce to do that groin kick nonsense. Let's say I know Bruce is a Krav Maga master, and I kind of expect that groin kick. So when I fight Bruce, I might stand very narrow. I might stand with my leg a little bit close, crossed like this. Okay, a very narrow stance, right? So if Bruce go and try to hit my groin, most likely he's going to hit my leg. Not going to work. Okay? But if Bruce take his hand and take a two-handed shove against my chest, see what happened is I stumble back. Even if I don't stumble, even if I do a very graceful martial art, hui, long step back, that opened up my groin right there. Okay? So, to utilize your walking groin kick, you shove the person, walk forward, the other leg come up. Okay? Shove, step, groin kick. Shove, step, groin kick. Shove, step, groin kick. Okay? So you shove them, you step in with them. When their leg open up to catch the balance, your leg come up, groin kick. So to practice this, practice your groin kick walking from one end of the room to the other. Right? Every step, be able to throw out a hard groin kick. Number 2, this is a side rising groin kick. The sideways rising groin kick. This one is very useful when you want to deceive someone or when you want to stop them from pursuing you, or in a situation where you're dealing with one attacker and someone else is coming in from the side. Okay, let me show you guys what this is first. Let's say, I'm facing my opponent. What I want to do is I want to look to the side, pretending I'm going to turn and walk away. But as I turn, so I turn to the left, my right leg will automatically swing up sideways, boom, right between the leg. Okay? So the person looking at me, they're looking at my upper body motion, they're thinking I'm going to walk away. They're not going to expect that. Okay, my the legs that towards them, come up sideways. I'm not throwing a side kick. I'm not bringing my knee up and kick out like that. I'm just swinging my legs straight up from the hip. Okay, you have to be a little bit flexible with that one. But this is a very tricky groin kick. Okay, you look to the side, so that makes them think you're going to turn. You start turning, and the leg come up. Start turning, leg come up. Start turning, leg come up, right into the groin. The next one, I'm going to show you guys, number 3, is the twisting back groin kick. Twisting back groin kick. This one, you set it up like you're sideways rising. So in the sense, you are turning sideways again, but rather than striking with the inside leg this time, I'm actually going to take my hand and shove the person, but my goal, I'm only going to shove them with one hand. My goal is not shoving them back. Okay? I'm not shoving him back. My goal is to use him, maybe because we're fighting, so he would have his arm up like this, right? So I'm not even going to shove his body. I'm just going to put my hand on his wrist or forearm and use him as leverage to push myself to the side like this. Okay? So it's a very deceptive move. One hand on the person, body, arm, or shoulder. Use them to shove yourself sideways. You twist to the side. Your one. So I turn to the left. My left leg step wide like this. What happened here is I establish the kicking distance I need, right? I don't want them to rush in at me too quickly. This is why I also keep this hand out. Okay, that's a buffer. Push, turn. Okay, let's look at that part 1. Push, turn. As I turn, I step back with my outside leg. In this case, I turn to the left, so I step back with my left leg. And once I establish this, I'm going to put most of my weight on my back foot, which means is my left foot, and use that to pivot back to face the person, and boom, this leg, the left leg, come right off the ground into their groin. Okay? Very, very tricky, very sneaky maneuver. This one, very effective. Again, you put your hand on the person, use them to help yourself turn, and then you drop your weight on your back leg, twist back, and bring that leg up. And some people say, why am I not spinning on my front foot if I'm going to strike with my back leg? It would make more sense if you spin on your front foot. Some people will say, actually no. Number 1, if I'm going to strike with my back leg need to load up. You know, it's like a gun. You need to load up the muscle. So when I am pushing off the ground, it gives me way more striking power, like that. Number 2, if my weight is on my front foot, I'm twisting back around like this. There's a chance of my ankle twisting out from under me, chance of me hurting my leg, right? So front foot, nice and light. All the weight in the back. Well, not all, but like 80% of the weight in the back. Use that back foot to twist yourself back, and then that back foot come right up the center into the groin. Okay, so this one, again, you pair it. One hand push, groin kick. One hand push, groin kick. Right? So as you can see, all 3 groin kicks have the potential to hit very, very hard, very damaging, and they all have a commonality, which is you need to set the person up. Okay, number one, the first one, the walk-in groin kick, you have to shove the person so they'll stagger back and open up for your kick. Number two, you're deceiving the person, making them think you're done with this conversation, you're going to walk away. And as you turn, the leg come up right into the groin. Okay? Number three, this time you are doing a one-hand push to use them to spin yourself and then back. Okay? Number three is a little bit more complicated because there's a spin to the side and a spin back into it. Like I illustrated before, there's a lot of ways of attacking someone in the groin. I wouldn't say I know all of them, but I know a lot of them. And this is one reason why when people tell you that Krav Maga doesn't work, especially when they say, your Krav Maga won't work against my Muay Thai or MMA, then if you know that you have really good foundation in your Krav Maga, you know your groin strike, you know 1,000 different ways of striking the groin, tell them to spar with you, going by Krav Maga rule, no groin cup. I'll bet they won't be able to do that. Okay? Uh, Thank you for checking out today's Survival Saturday. I will be back again tomorrow for some Sausage Sunday. For now, have a good night.